Coming up in this episode, with a small update to some of the essential foxing kit, we get out after a couple of the red menaces. This is Team Foxer, and this is Foxing. Well, hey guys, and thank you very much for tuning in to this foxing video. In this episode, you'll see the footage has been captured using the amazing Stellar SQ50 thermal rifle scope and Falcon FQ50 combination. There may also be some clips in there that have been filmed with the Griffin spotter, but I'll let you know as and when they pop up on screen. So I've been using the Falcon spotter for some time now, and it is a real step up in thermal technology, and is, as many people will tell you, an absolute game changer. However, there is a couple of issues with thermal spotters. The first being with the Falcon, there is no laser rangefinder, so if you want to know exact ranges under certain scenarios, then that's one small issue. And if you're going out for an absolute marathon session, occasionally, and I've suffered with this in the past, permanently looking for a spotter for any length of time, you will lose a little bit of night vision in one eye. A couple of days ago, I had a very eagerly anticipated arrival in the form of Hike's new Raptor set of thermal binoculars. These are an absolute weapon and made for foxers. I have had one trip out with them in between the rain showers so far, so I was able to update the Raptors very easily using the T-Vision app on my phone before heading out. I did manage to see a fox, wasn't interested in the call whatsoever, as I often aren't at this time of year, but I did see it initially at just over 400 yards, I think it was, and then certainly tracked it well past the 600 yard marker. Could see him plain as day, so I'm very much looking forward to getting out with those properly. You can see any up-to-date information or action as it happens following team_Foxer on Instagram, and of course I'll have a more detailed review and plenty of footage, fingers crossed, with the Raptors on the channel in the not too distant future. For now, enjoy this foxing action. If you've got any queries, questions or anything like that, please put them in the comments below. Take care, stay safe, and as always, happy shooting. So in this first clip here, you can see me walking away from that small thermal signature. That's actually the Icotec GC500 caller I dropped off. Rick's filming me using the Griffin spotter here, the GQ35L, and I'm walking 50 to 60 yards away from the caller. I put on the fox mating call, and straight out of the pheasant cover comes this vixen. I was fairly sure it was a vixen, as it was quite small in the sight picture. Rick here films it on the very roadway him and his son are standing. It's a tricky situation this, because there are a row of council houses behind this particular pheasant shoot. Although they're a damn good way behind, still the travel of these bullets is such that you need to be very cautious. And just like that one there, you could see that was definitely a pass-through. The round carried on as it went through the fox. It did hit high on that one, but again had to make sure it had cleared the back of the houses before taking the shot. As is always the way, and the best thing to do is keep the caller going, even though shots can be quite loud and you'd think that would scare stuff off, because it will often be the case, as it was here, there's another fox coming in. Luckily for me, this one came in from the opposite side of the cover, which means there's less to consider in terms of houses in the background from a safety perspective. I was also quite sure this one was much thicker set than the previous fox that we'd just taken, therefore I was convinced this was a pair, certainly a good one to get out of the way. Nice and steady though I was with the recon sticks there from Scott Country. That one had a fairly dramatic explosion from the shoulder. Let's go and see what we've got. Not the easiest of walking, and not the easiest of locations. It's a row of houses. I had to wait for the fox to come right next to the cover. But Icotec GC500 piqued the interest of the vixen early. I'm assuming it was a vixen, it was the smaller of the two. Stuck on the mating call, and the dog fox could see it. And the thermal coming a long way off, or from a long way off. So with January, it's a good time of year for calling, especially the mating call, and it paid dividends. It's a damp night, it's not the best night for thermal, but recon sticks doing their thing. Thermal on standby. Alright, let's see what we got. I think with them being so close, this one under 100 yards, next one about that. It's just made a mess. Yeah, struck it on the back. Vixen. Stinks. Here's a short walk this way. There you go. I knew he'd be a big lad. There's the cover. Long bit, he comes straight from the top end. Down. He's a big lad. He's been here a little while. Bit of shot placement on that one. He came from off the road right over there. The size of him compared to her.
Got black leg.
Yeah, bruiser, isn't he?
A great result there on stand 1. I thought I'd include this extra footage here from the Falcon SQ50 spotter, as it's often the case that it's round my neck. I use it to scan around and spot foxes coming in, and then very quickly switch over to the scope to follow the fox the rest of its journey here. But you can see that, as I mentioned in the beginning, it is a step up here in detail from the previous generations of thermal. Stand number 2 now for ourselves. This fox, I was quite surprised it actually didn't bolt, because the caller fell over on the roof. But once again, as I'm filming it through the Stellar scope, Rick's just to my left, and he's filming it using the Griffin spotter, which I've put here, a little picture in picture. No dancing around for that one, it was straight down.
Talk about dropped on the spot with a perfect bib shot straight to the heart. Wow, absolutely no mistake in there. Young dog. Yeah, that was a shot straight in the bib. Opened him up a treat. He dropped on the spot, didn't he? Well, third one, second stand. Good going so far.
We did actually make it out briefly the following evening. Rick had cut up the maize crop on this drive here and see this fox run out. So we went back that night and managed to account for it, as it was just resting by the dike side. It made a bit of a mess, that one as well, so I won't show the video of that one. So, a couple of nights later, and I'm out with the keeper. Now, I'd actually updated the Stellar before this trip out, and the difference here is when you zoom in, no longer does it zoom the entire picture, as you can see. It just zooms in the picture, giving you a nice wide field of view. Great if you get any runners, or so you can still see what's going on around the rest of your picture. The wind picked up a little bit. We hadn't seen much all evening, but on the very last stand, once again, I've got the squealing rabbit call here on the Architect caller, which is actually just on the roof behind me. No need to go and put this one out in the field, because I've got great visibility out of the top of the Land Rover. So I can see this fox coming in from quite some way off, tracking it with the Stellar. As you can see, it stops off for a little toilet break, yet continues on his way to an easy meal, though he didn't anticipate running into me with my 223. It stops, and I take the shot. But once again, the round here, maybe it was wind drift that caused it. As you can see, it left some of its insides behind there. I mean, it's fatally wounded here, but still I give this one a second follow-up shot as soon as it's feasible to do so. You want to make this as humane as possible, but I've left this clip in just to show, do you know what, it happens to all of us at some times. You're not always going to cleanly take a fox. But the best thing you can do for the fox in that situation is make sure at the very least you follow it up with a second shot as swiftly as possible. Again, we're only a few minutes later and we've got another fox in sight. Now this one extremely cautious, so I switched from using the electronic caller to using the mouth reed caller here. Once again from Best Fox Call. It's a call that's always in my pocket, and you can change it up and use different frequencies and different tones for it. And it paid dividends here because, again, a bit of patience and the caution got the better of this fox. You can just see there on screen from the Stellar, it also now counts down and tells you when it's about to refresh, just so that you don't end up pulling the trigger at that crucial moment. That's one of the other features of the update. That's better. No runner that time.
There's quite a size difference, isn't there, between the two?
Yeah.
Apart from the fact that you can see how wide she is.
I know.
Yeah. That is a mess. We'll get that sunny side down for the photo.
Indeed, a picture for the Instagram and to show people, landowners, how productive our evenings can be. So this time I'm actually out with Dwayne, and we saw this fox at the back of his house and had a bit of a cat and mouse game chasing it across several fields. It finally came to rest in a grass field almost 200 yards away and didn't want to move anymore. So I took the shot and laid it out.
How's that for a shot?
Walking up to go and retrieve this fox, Dwayne recorded this on his phone and sent it to me, hence the quality, but it's a beautiful English ground nesting partridge, part of the reason why we control the foxes in this area.
It seems further than 193 yards, doesn't it?
It does when you walk out.
Yeah.
That's pretty good in this wind, though, I tell you. Oh, look at that. Got a big old scar in it.
Yeah.
Look at that. Wonder what's...
Looks like it's been stitched up, doesn't it? Yeah, it's just where it's healed, isn't it?
It has been open there, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what's caused that. Big scar, yeah, look.
Yeah.
Well, it was definitely, you know, I aimed for the head, so that's definitely sorted him out. I tell you what, he's a big lad.
Big drain here. We've got him over there, haven't we?
Yeah,
He's got this side of the bank and out in this field, hasn't he?
yeah, and then laid down.
Yeah.
I can only see the head, so just range that back to the truck. See what that is. I'll tell you what, on a windy night, that's a long old shot.
195 yards.
It is it? 195. Well,
195 yards.
195 headshot. I'll tell you what, I have every confidence in the world in that scope. That is a cracking result. How long have we been out?
5 minutes, because we spotted it at the back of my house, didn't we?
Yeah, spotted it at the back of Dwayne's house and then followed it across the field. So he gave us the slip once, not twice. Team Fox are smashing it.
As we get back to the car, Dwayne tells me that he can see another fox across the field, so we managed to lip squeak this one into range. I took it off the recon sticks and once again it danced around like a fairy. So I'm going to go out and check the 0 on the rifle just to make sure it's bang on. Nevertheless, that was 2 foxes down and the end of a fairly productive couple of weeks out on the foxes. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Take care, stay safe, and as always, happy shooting.